Okay, the purpose of the video that you're watching is to illustrate how the measurements of our suit jackets and blazers are taken. This way you can measure your items at home and compare them to ours. I believe that this is the best way to determine the size and whether or not the item will fit. And best of all, everything that we sell is measured the same way. So we're trying to establish some consistency. I'm going to start with taking a couple measurements while it's hanging up. The measurements I take when it's hanging up are the length of the jacket, and the length of the jacket is taken from the bottom of the collar. So what I'm going to do is put my tape measure right at the bottom of the collar where the felt behind the collar meets the fabric, and I'm going to hold it along the bottom of the jacket. I'm going to pull the fabric straight. I'm not going to stretch it. And the measurement I'm getting is 31 5/8 inches. That's length from bottom of collar. The other measurement that I take while the jacket is hanging is the sleeve length. And the sleeve length is taken from the top of the shoulder. I go right from where the seam is on the top of the shoulder, and I go to the edge of the sleeve by the buttons. And that gives me my sleeve length from top of shoulder. So again, I'm going to go right up to the seam. I'm going to hold the fabric straight without stretching it. And here I'm getting a measurement of 26.5 inches. Now, the rest of the measurements I'm going to take while the jacket is laying flat. Let's start with the shoulders at widest point. I'm going to go from shoulder seam to shoulder seam. Alright, here we have this seam and that seam where they meet. That's a point-to-point measurement, and we refer to this on our site as shoulders at widest point. And here I'm getting a measurement of, with pulling the fabric straight and not stretching it, I'm getting 20 1/4. Just to show you an example of how you can stretch the fabric and make it bigger, by pulling it hard I'm going to get a measurement of 20 3/4, but that's not the way the fabric is going to lay on your body. So, holding it straight again, I get 20 1/4. I'd also like to take the inseam of the sleeve. If you know the sleeve from the top of the shoulder, and you know the sleeve's inseam, it gives you a pretty good idea of the size of the armhole. It would be very difficult to take the actual measurement of the armhole because of the shoulder padding and the way the sleeve is constructed, but by comparing the inseam to the longer measurement, that should give you a pretty good idea. And the inseam of this sleeve is 18 inches. And I'm also going to tell you on all of my listings how much room there is to lengthen the sleeves. In this particular situation, I would say you could properly lengthen the sleeves about a ½ inch. There's some extra lining in there, there's plenty of fabric. If you have unusually long arms, you can always lengthen the sleeves more than what I say that you can, but you would need to have your tailor add in some lining fabric to make it work. Now, the most important measurements which determine the size of the jacket are the width across the waist and the width across the chest. I'm going to lay the jacket flat. This is a 3-button model, so I'm going to button the middle button because it goes right across the waist. And while laying flat, this jacket across the waist, when I pull the fabric straight, I'm getting 21 inches across, which is 42 around. So the width across the waist here is 21. And the chest measurement, you want to make sure you pull the back of the jacket, pull the fabric from the back of the jacket and there's nothing tucked in, and you don't want to pull out the lapels too much so the fabric buckles. So you're just kind of pulling it so it's straight. And generally, an off-the-rack jacket, the chest measurement across should be about 2 inches more than the measurement across the waist. Now here we had a waist measurement of 21, and across the chest I usually go about, I would say, an inch or so under the armpit. And I take this measurement very carefully. Without stretching the fabric, I have a 23-inch measurement. If I stretch the fabric, it goes to 23 and a half, but just holding the fabric straight, I got 23 across. So based on these measurements, this jacket measures just between a 41 and a 42. The waist measurement of a jacket should be usually equal to or about 1 inch above the stated size. And the chest of the jacket generally is about 4 inches above the stated size. So if you have a 42-inch chest, you don't want your jacket measurement to be 42 inches because it would be awfully tight and you probably wouldn't be able to close it. You have to have a little bit of breathing room. So that's how we measure our jackets. Please make sure to visit our website, closetM.com, to see what we have for sale. And check our YouTube account because we'll be posting new videos all the time. Thanks for watching.